Congratulations on your purchase of the Lightning Mods Elite V2 console. It's a simple system to set up and I'll take you through those steps now. So let's go through the contents of the box first. First we have the main console itself, and then we have the hard drive and the lead for the hard drive. Note it's not USB on either end. We have the power supply to connect the console to the power. We have a mains lead to connect the power supply to the mains. You'll also have a game controller and a lead for the game controller. Now the controller type may vary depending on your options. You can also add more later, which I'll show you how to do. Not included is an HDMI lead. Supply your own HDMI lead, standard size at either end. Most people have those lying around. So now, to set up the console, take the console itself, and at the rear, you'll see at this end, you can see the USB connections. So, take your hard drive lead with the blue and add that to one of the blue. Very important you put it in one of these two blue USB connections. But that leaves two on the front accessible for charging controllers, adding memory cards, keyboard, mouse if you want a wired one, anything, but it's nice and accessible at the front. Then take your hard drive and plug that in. It's keyed, so it'll only go in one way around. Then take your power supply and insert it here. Push it firmly in. It won't go all the way in. You should be able to see a little bit at the end, but it's firmly in. That's not going to come out. Don't force it in any further than that. Then take your power supply lead and insert it into the power supply connection. Again, nice and firmly. That one does go all the way in. Push it out in as far as it will go. And then finally, connect your HDMI lead from this socket here into the input on the back of the side of your TV. Connect that HDMI to the HDMI socket on the TV or whatever display device you're using. Then take your 3-pin plug it into the mains, make sure it's switched on. Set the TV channel to whichever input you've selected and turn it on with the power button. Now after a black screen for a short period of time and a Dell logo, you will see this loading screen. This is loading the systems onto the console. It'll do this every time. This is the normal startup sequence. And you'll arrive on this screen. First thing you need to do is connect a controller. Now depending on which controller you have, the procedure is different. So check out the separate videos for how to connect your controller. But to get started, you always need to plug your controller in with the USB lead. So we'll just skip past pairing it via Bluetooth and I'll just give you a quick tour of the system. Now once the system's booted up, we'll arrive on this screen, which is the home screen, and we use this screen to select which system we want to play by moving up and down on the controller. There are also a few other subcategories like gun games, favourites, all games, that kind of thing, and some of the other games have been sorted into categories, but mostly it is sorted by system. So we'll find a system we want to play through the extensive list, and you select the system with the south button, which will take you to all the games available for that system. Now to go back, you press the east button, which will bring you back here. South button to select the console, and then south button again to launch the game. And here we are. And then from here on, it will configure just like a NES. So press start to start. And there we go, we're playing exactly as you'd expect. Now to quit the game, you hold the hot button and press start. And it will just quit back to the games list for that system. And to select a new, press East and we're back to this. Very simple. This is your favourites folder. Will be populated with a couple of games by default, and it's very easy to add your own. So we'll find a game we wish to add, and all you have to do is hold the north button for a second or two, and you'll see Action Henk has been added to favourites, and a little star icon will appear next to it to show that it's also in your favourites library. So we can just verify that that's gone in. There it is. Now to remove it, you can select it either in this screen or go back to here, and then again just hold that north button for a second or two and it will vanish just like that. Another great feature of the system is the ability to create save and load points mid-game where you wouldn't normally be able to. So this is really handy if you need to break off gaming for the day, or you're having trouble getting past a particular spot. So if we create a save state now by holding the hotkey and pressing west, we can now carry on our game. And if we take damage where we don't want to take damage or die or what have you, we can hold the hot button and press north and we'll be back here as if it's never happened. Very useful feature. Now I'm also going to show you how to toggle the bezels on and off. So the bezels are the artwork that we use to fill the screen to stop having black bars down the edge, because older games had squarer picture and on most modern TVs more rectangular, so you're going to have black empty space at the side of your bar. So we filled that with the art to give it a feel for the console, as you can see in this here. Now if you want to turn it off, if you find that distracting or you just prefer not to have it, from this screen here press start and then go to game settings and then go all the way down to decorations, and it says decoration set auto at the top. Simply switch that to none. Usually there are other options you can experiment with if you like, but if you just want to turn them off, set it to none and back out of that. And then when we select that same game, you'll see the artwork has gone. There is one other way to do it. If you prefer the bezels on the whole, but you in some cases want them on, you can hold the south button for a second or two and then this menu will appear. And then you can go to Advanced Game Options, Decorations, and set that to none. That will affect this one game only, the game that you've selected here. These other games in the list, all the other games in the system won't be affected by that change. So that's how you make change to the bezels for one particular game. The final thing I'd like to show you is how to activate the screensaver, which is one of our favourite features because it's good to have the system on in the background and have a slideshow of your favourite games and be introduced to new games. So to access the screensaver, press start and then go to user interface settings and then go to screensaver settings. So by default it's turned off, so you can just adjust the time up to whatever you feel is right, change the type of screensaver, whether you want slideshows or videos, have sound, and just play with these settings till it's what you need it to be, and then you can back all the way out, and then as I've said it there, in 3 minutes that screensaver will turn on automatically. You can activate the screensaver manually if you don't want to wait by pressing the select button and then launch screensaver, and it will go straight into it. Thank you for watching this brief overview. There are many more features available, so join the Lightning Mods owners group on Facebook to find out more.